as the man stares at the ferocious tiger before him. Instead of fleeing, he musters up his courage and slowly walks towards the beast, gradually extending his hand. He senses the tiger has no intention of attacking him. Emboldened, the man brazenly places his hand on the tiger's head, stroking it back and forth. Moved by the man's death-defying bravery, the rich kid agrees to the partnership. However, the man only secures 15% of the mining rights. Sounds like a small cut, doesn't it? But 15% of $30 billion still think it's paltry? The man soars back to the top as the stock price skyrockets once more. The Mining Association decides to award the man the Golden Pickaxe, the Nobel Prize equivalent of the mining industry. At the awards ceremony, the man is overcome with emotion. After experiencing such dramatic ups and downs, his dream has finally come true in this moment. Yet, when the man wakes up the next day, he realizes just how quickly fortunes can reverse in life. Right at the company doorstep, he's greeted by a large crowd of debt collectors protesting. Someone even socks him in the face, knocking him to the ground. Returning to his office, he finally learns what happened. It turns out, after third-party testing, their gold mine contains no gold at all. Someone had secretly sprinkled gold dust into the samples sent for inspection, falsifying the results. The man also discovers that his buddy Mike had dumped all his shares the day before, cashing out $164 million before vanishing into thin air. It doesn't take a genius to figure out this was all an elaborate scam orchestrated by Mike. Masses of shareholders begin selling off their stock. The NYSE halts trading of the man's company. The $17 billion market cap evaporates overnight. The man is once again left with nothing, labeled a fraudster by the entire world. Wherever he goes, scammed shareholders swarm him. Even the hotel is urging him to settle his bill ASAP. The moment he returns to his room, 3 cops are already waiting there. Through the police, the man learns that after Mike fled to Indonesia with the money, he was immediately arrested and detained by the military. Then he jumped out of a helicopter. By the time the military found his corpse in the jungle, his hands and face had already been eaten by wild boars. The Indonesian police hastily closed the case, determining Mike to be deceased before cremating him. The $164 million is nowhere to be found. The cops suspect the man was also involved in this scam, but seeing him in such a pitiful state now, he looks more like a victim than a con artist. Plus, there's no evidence indicating he benefited from this case in his current situation. Left with no choice, the man is released without charges. Penniless, the man returns home from the luxury hotel. Even though he lost himself for a time in an extravagant lifestyle, his wife still chooses to accept him. She then takes out a stack of letters the man receives during this period. One envelope catches his eye. Inside is that contract he and Mike had drafted on a napkin back then, clearly specifying a 50-50 split. The letter also contains a check for $82 million, exactly half of $164 million. Seeing this, the man cracks a meaningful smile.